In this video I'm going to show you how to sign off your reports and to carry out all the relevant checkings of the draft. As you can see here, I've got a report which is essentially complete and ready to upload, as evident by the fact that all of these sections are indicated as completed and in green on the right hand margin. The first thing you'll need to do when you get to this stage is just confirm with yourself that you're happy with the content in each of these sections. In particular, in general details, you need to check that the about the property dates, built and extended are correct, and if they're not relevant, you put not applicable in there. Tenure here is also important, so you'll need to make sure that is correctly selected, as this will be what generates the section I phrases at the end of the report with regards to whether the property is leasehold or freehold. The accommodation section here is only for site note purposes, so you don't need to worry too much about that, although obviously you do want to make sure it is correct. Section D, somewhat more important, and again you'll see the accommodation here, so just make sure you're happy with all the phrases here. When you come into sections E, F and G, it's perhaps a little bit more complicated as we have the 3-layer system. You can make amendments to the phrases as you want. For instance, in this phrase here, in elements, I can click reorder, click the little no entry sign, and I can either reselect the phrase or edit. Reselect being the ability to reselect the buttons you've clicked, and it will quickly highlight what you've previously selected, and if you're happy with those you can click commit, or if you want to change it, let's say for instance it didn't have LED flashings, it had zinc flashings, I can select zinc and unselect the LED and commit it, and a new phrase will be created. To change what I've put in for defects, I need to click on the defect to be taken into the defects layer. You'll see the colour changes to red, and then the same principle applies. The phrases at the bottom here, I can click reorder, the negative sign, and reselect. Or alternatively, I can click edit, and I get a text box, and I can manually edit the phrase. I haven't got any advisories on this one, so I'm going to go into roof, and you can see that we have an advice at the bottom. Advice you can edit from this main page. It's the same principle again. You can click reorder, the negative symbol, and edit, and you can edit the text. But what you can't do from this page is reselect. I'll just demonstrate now. If I click reselect, nothing happens. To be able to reselect, you'll need to click the advisory button to be taken back to the advisory layer, and you'll see your advisory phrases here, at which point you can reorder them. And you can reselect. And again you can also edit if you need to. Once you're happy with the content in each of these sections, and you've made sure you've got the valuation completed correctly, and by that I mean also including the figures here, the reinstatement cost. The valuation itself isn't going to be relevant because you'll be relying on the mortgage valuation app, but the overall opinion is important, and what I've seen in many drafts is people are submitting them with insert purchase price. You need to make sure that you've amended these paragraphs before you submit it. You've also got the additional assumptions here, and if you're not going to put anything there, you need to type in the word none. So once you're happy with that, you need to click on review. We're not going to use the review at this stage, but until you've clicked on review, the report won't generate. So when you click on submit, the report that comes back will be blank. By clicking on review first, it preps the app ready to be able to generate the report properly. So if I go into review quickly, it's essentially going to generate a reviewable format of the report here based on my inputs from sections E, F, G and H and so forth. I then click that, and I can click submit, and this will upload the site notes to the server with eTech. They'll process it and email me back a PDF of my report, PDF of the site notes, and also provide a PDF of these documents which can be checked on the app. I'm not going to upload them now because it will take some time and it'll be a little bit difficult to edit the video. But if you can imagine, I've done that. It's gone through its usual system of uploading the report, and it's gone okay. It'll probably take 5 or 10 minutes to upload the site notes in that format. They will then become available on document approval, and you'll see you can have your report there, and that'll be the format it will come in, and likewise there'll be the site notes as well. What I would then recommend you do is open up the site notes on your internet browser, or rather your web browser, and you'll be able to then go through the draft and see what issues need to be amended. Issues with respect to missing content, such as a missing section I or J reference, should be picked up in the relevant D, E, F or G sections. So let's say, for instance, in section D we've highlighted that there is shrinkable soil, but there's no section J reference. I would then go into advisories, go to advice and warnings or risks, and put in the relevant phrase, and that will be done. I will then make any other changes I need to make here. Once I'm happy with the changes I've made in all of these sections, I can go into review, and I then need to refresh the review to reflect the changes I've made. The easiest way to do that is to use the refresh button at the top here. What the refresh button will do, it will regenerate every single one of these text boxes to reflect the most recently updated information within these sections here. If you've already made changes to the review, or perhaps don't want to refresh the entire review section, it is possible to go into each box individually by clicking on it and getting the text box and clicking this refresh button here. Doing so at the moment will crash the app, as I'll demonstrate now. As you see there, it's just crashed, but it has updated it. So if you can, it is better to use the big refresh button at the top. So once you've reached this point, you can then go into each of these boxes individually and amend the formatting, spelling, and edit the paragraphs as you wish to make them read better, so that you provide a better quality report to the client. You can also deal with paragraph spacing. If I click on this box, for instance, you can see everything's all bunched together, so you can quite quickly just click on each one, space it down, and adjust that as you will. It does do this to some degree on its own when you get the PDF back, but if you're unclear on what's done automatically, then you're quite welcome to go and do it manually in each box. It just takes a little bit of time. You'll probably spend about 5 or 10 minutes just paragraph spacing the entire document. Once you're completely happy with the changes you've made here, then you can click assessment submission again. It'll upload the document once again, and after 5 or 10 minutes you'll get back a revised draft which you can check. Just one point with respect to the review section: it is the only time that you can check sections I and J and amend them. If you want to, you can add your own phrases under the ABC button. What you'll notice is in some cases there will be errors, like here, roof covering is coming up with this gobbledygook. That's probably because there's an error with the phrase. In those situations, all you need to do is email me or email eTech and we'll try and get some resolution for you. But you may find that you have to manually type in the reference that you want there. So say there is a problem with the roof coverings, this is a risk. And that is pretty much all you need to know about the review section. Obviously, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me.